everybody, Trainer Joe here, bringing you something fresh. Self Magazine just came out with a an issue, and on the front is this young woman who's obese, and they're trying to be helpful, and I don't think they're being helpful. And I just wanted to talk with you a little bit about this. It's kind of risky to really address this without hurting people's feelings. I get it, but let's make an attempt. The headline, Self 2022 Fitness Board Advisory: The Relentless Reality of Anti-Fatness in Fitness is one of the headlines. Let's just begin with this. Obesity and weight loss is a huge struggle for over half our population is struggling with that. Those that are not doing well with it and that are obese or morbidly obese, those that are struggling and maybe are doing well with it as far as losing weight and being healthier. But it is a difficult thing. It is really huge in our culture. It's a big deal. It's most would agree it's a huge problem. Is it a problem? And that's where Self Magazine, I think, had an opportunity that I believe they missed. When I read the article, and you should read it if you want to see where they're coming from, it was kind of saying we should make every allowance for someone that's big to feel good about it and to stay there and not worry about it. And I don't believe that's what should happen here. I will say this: if you're overweight, obese, morbidly obese, what do you want? What is it that you want? If you're reading that article, are you happy about that? Are you wanting acceptance? Are you wanting encouragement? Or are you wanting to be celebrated? That's up to you what you want. But I remember watching Elf, and he told the fake Santa, he said, "You're sitting on a throne of lies." And that's what I think is happening here. We want to believe things because we want things to be a certain way. And just because we want them doesn't mean that's reality. And I think we're trying to create a false reality, partly because our culture is one of entitlement and indulgence. And we're like, maybe this is just what I want, rather than accepting that for me to lose weight and be healthy, it's going to be hard work. Hey, we all want to be loved. We all want to be accepted, even when we're struggling with something. I don't care what you're dealing with in your life. You want people to love you and accept you and appreciate you. Whether you're dealing with losing weight, whether you're struggling in a marriage, whether you're addicted to drugs or pornography, whether you can't seem to keep a job, you want people to love and appreciate you. And if you think that one of those is totally different than all the others, I don't know that I would agree with you. It's things that our culture and our society might look at and think, oh, that poor person's not doing well, and might treat you differently. We all want to be accepted and loved. I don't care who you are. That's a reality. I think I get that. Have you seen the show 1,000 Pound Sisters? There's Tammy is the larger of the two sisters, and she is, I think, about 700 pounds. I would ask, how big are you okay with? Do you have a place where you're like, I wouldn't want to be that big? Or is it celebrated? Is it accepted? Should it be embraced at any size? Because at one point, and how much is happening here that you need to consider as affecting not just you, but other people? Because what we do in our lives usually doesn't just affect us. And I remember one episode, Tammy said something that kind of took me aback, so I looked for the quote and I found it. She said, "My family," because her family's trying to get her, "Tammy, why don't you get help? Why don't you go to this therapy? Why don't you do that? You need to lose weight." And she gets frustrated, and at one point, and pardon the language, it's just a quote here. She said, "My family should just shut up and be thankful that they don't have to clean my ass." Is that the reality? Should they just be thankful? She can barely move. It's questionable whether she can bathe herself or not. She needs help. She needs someone with her all the time. Her family has waited on her for the most part to help her get by and get through. And that's loving. It's a loving family to do that. I think it's neat that they want to do that and help her. Should she feel that they owe her that? Should we feel that, people around me owe me the courtesy of accepting me the way I am, no matter what my choices are? Should we apply that to the meth addict and say, you know what, they're happy smoking meth? Tammy was shown on the show partying with her friends, drinking, vaping, eating pizza, whatever she wanted to. And when her family was like, Tammy, we're concerned about you, that's affecting your health. And she said, I just want to have fun. Now, you may look at that and you say, well, that's not me. Well, what is you? Well, if we're down on what's appropriate, how do you know what's appropriate? The doctor has a chart, says this is a healthy weight range. Do you want to set that aside and create your own? Well, why would you criticize Tammy in any way for what she's doing or what she's saying? She's 700 pounds. When do you say, instead of let's celebrate this, instead of a celebration, how about an intervention? Because you're not the only one that's affected. If you have kids, they're learning how to do this. Do you really want your kids to be obese or morbidly obese? Now, to pull back and say, if they are, do you want them to be loved? Yeah. Do you want them to have friends? Yeah. All that stuff. But do you want this to be normalized? Do you want to be a diabetic? You have people dying from COVID primarily because of their weight. Articles everywhere about that. Obesity plus COVID is way more dangerous. And if you're a meth addict, it's way more dangerous if you get sick because you're unhealthy. Let's decide if you want that. If you want to be big and loved and accepted, you can approach that. Read the Self Magazine article. It's all about that. Let's just have fun. Everybody should accept me, or you can live in reality. It should be unacceptable for you just to do what you want because it's fun. When it ends up, it doesn't just burden you. It burdens your people around you. Tammy, if she falls down, she needs an ambulance to come and get her. She needs multiple people to help her do various things. I ain't buying it. I ain't buying that we ought to normalize this. We ought to just cater to people that decide, I'm just going to be big, in any more than we should do it if somebody's a meth addict and we say, we ought to make it easier for them to get meth. They're treated differently than other people just because they are high all the time. And that sounds ruthless and mean and like it doesn't. No, it's not. It's ridiculous to say we ought to normalize being as big as we end up being, as we want to be, and we ought to just have fun. Tammy, you're about to die. You're 35 years old. Can you leave me alone? I just want to have fun. And we're supposed to accept that as normal. Let her be. Build a ramp. Build bigger doors. We have seatbelt extensions on the airplane. Hey, you know what? If your trainer makes you feel bad, get a new trainer. If your gym makes you feel uncomfortable because you're big, find a different gym, because that's a joke. Most people want to help you. People are going out of their way. Gyms are going out of their way. We want people that want to get healthier. Come in. I want to help you. I'll be your trainer. I'll help you. They're not. I remember one doctor friend of mine. She said, somebody came to me and they were obese and was like, I'd go to the gym, but I'm afraid everybody's looking at me. And the doctor looked at her and said, ain't nobody looking at you. We're worried that everybody's staring at us and making fun of us. Find a different gym. There's plenty of gyms that want you. There's plenty of trainers that want to work with you. Hey, you want somebody that cares about you, wants to help you? Come do my program. But we're not going to normalize being 100 pounds overweight. It ain't normal. And when you start seeing it as this ain't normal, shouldn't be, and I can change, then it starts changing. But if you're just looking for where can I go where this is accepted, this is normal, and we even celebrate it, that's out there, but that's not what you need. What you need is to rise up, stand up, take responsibility, get the help you need. We all need help, and you just happen to need it here. Get the help, and let's go. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. We do a new video every week so we can help you train your brain and transform your body.